What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, or really, welcome back for me. Been a while since I did a video, been dealing with a concussion and whatnot. Doc said kind of take some time off, so I did, doing a tiny bit better. Just got really bored because I have been able to do content. So here we are with a new tactic here for you all today. It is a Jose Mourinho inspired 4-3-1-2. That is formation that he utilized quite a bit when he won the Champions League with FC Porto. So in today's video, we tested with FC Porto, Chelsea, as well as his new club, Fenerbahce. And if you wish to download today's tactic, there will be a link down below in the description to my Discord. That's where you're going to be able to download the tactic from within the download section of the Discord. And if you are a member of the channel, you get early access to it as well. There is a link down below to join the membership as well, which I'm going to be kind of revitalizing that in the coming days. So definitely keep an eye out for that in regards to a post here on YouTube. But now, with all that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's video. So how we're going to go about showing the results, I'll first start with Chelsea, then we'll hit up FC Porto, and then we'll finish off with Fenerbahce. So, Chelsea, how did they do? They ended up finishing second in the league to an absolutely loaded and just completely broken Manchester City. And then they ended up winning the FA Cup. So this is definitely way better than they do in reality with the jumbled mess that Chelsea currently is. And I definitely think playing this style of football really does suit them. And if you were to build around it, you'll be dominating the league for years to come. All right, so next up is FC Porto, where this tactic and kind of formation inspiration originated from with Jose Mourinho. How did they do? They won the league. They won the Taça de Portugal card, which is the FA Cup, Alliance Cup, Carabao Cup, and they won the Super Cup, which is a Community Shield. So they did a quadruple. They also got to the round of 16, getting knocked out by Real Madrid in the Champions League. However, I did run this multiple times, and they ended up getting to the quarters and semi sometimes. So a team that really shouldn't be going the distance in a competition like Champions League, this tactic allows for them to do so. So I can only imagine what it would do with a team like Real Madrid. They probably wouldn't lose a single game within any competition. And speaking of not losing any games, Fenerbahce, I have two different tests I'm going to show you guys. One, they went invincible. 36 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses on 110 points with a 96 goal differential, as they scored 123 goals. And then the other test, they ended up doing a treble while losing one game, which that one game, please, was Trabzonspor, who they ended up beating in the Turkish Cup as well. They also got to the quarterfinals of the Conference League. A couple other tests, they ended up winning the Conference League. So this tactic can put up some big time numbers trophy wise. And speaking of big time numbers, Mr. Njeko, you'll see he has 55 goals within the league here. Overall, he had 81 goals. A 38-year-old scored 81 goals, and this tactic, it's absolutely broken with the strikers. Now, real quickly, before we get into the tactical side of things and I break that down, we're going to go over to tactic board so I can kind of give you an overview of how it will build up when you are in the attack. So here we are. This is how it shapes up, and these are the roles that I ended up using. We've got 2 advanced forwards up top, shadow striker behind them, 2 carrileros outside of a ball-winning midfielder, 2 fullbacks, and then 2 ball-playing defenders, and then a sweeper keeper. Now, how this kind of operates in attack. One of the main reasons why I use the shadow striker with them being behind 2 strikers, it essentially creates a 3-striker formation, which also allows for a lot of creativity from the shadow strikers. So they'll contribute in both goals as well as assists. These fullbacks are basically customized wingbacks within this tactic, so they'll be staying out wide. But then you have the carrileros, which I've never really utilized them a whole heck of a lot. But within this system, I thought that they would be perfect because they are kind of shuttlers. They are able to kind of do anything and everything. I see them as a more defensive version of a Mezzala. And then we also have that ball-winning midfielder, which a lot of you know, this year I have been able to make the ball winning midfielder absolutely broken, especially when they have ball playing ability or even goal scoring ability. And within this tactic, if you have someone that is a good playmaker and good defensively with these Carleros, you're going to be darn near unstoppable, which is what Fenerbahce showed. That's what Porto showed. And if Chelsea could get a complete team, that's what they would have definitely been able to show as well. And then these ball playing defenders come up as well. They kind of act as a safety valve. So if they need to kind of cycle the ball back to the ball playing defender, move it off to the ball winning midfielder, Carlero out wide to a fullback, or even try and hit it over the top ball to try and hit one of the strikers, which I will give you a quick tip with this tactic. With the playmaking ability that comes from a lot of these roles and a lot of the players nowadays, you will definitely want to have a striker with a little bit of height. I'd say minimum 6 foot, 6'1". That is what you're going to want with this system. At least one striker having height. You can definitely get away with one of them being a little bit shorter. But now really quickly, before we get into the FM tactic side of things, I want to show you guys some gameplay real quick, some match game footage. So going to be two different games. One is going to be from Chelsea. The other one is going to be from Fenerbahce. First one is Fenerbahce in the Turkish Cup final against Trabzonspor, where they beat them 6-0. This will really show what I mean by having one of those bigger strikers, because Edin Dzeko nets himself 4 goals. And now the next one is going to be the FA Cup final that Chelsea ended up winning, which they won by a score of 4-0 over Leicester City. Alright, so now we're going to get into the FM tactic side of things, where we're going to break it down, give you the file name and all that good stuff. So the tactic file name that you'll be looking for in the download section of the Discord is Gormy's 4-3-1-2 Mourinho Era. It's got 2 advanced forwards on attack up top, shadow striker on attack behind them, 2 Carleros on support outside of a ball-winning midfielder on support, 2 fullbacks on support, 2 ball-playing defenders on defend, and a sweep keeper on defend. Both advanced forwards are instructed to shoot more often. The shadow striker on attack has crosses aimed at center, shoot more often, and roam from position. The Carleros on support both have crosses aimed at center, shoot more often, get further forward, and tackle harder. The ball-winning midfielder on support was left as is. Both fullbacks on support have crossed more often, crosses aimed at center, run wide with the ball, get further forward, and tackle harder. Both ball-playing defenders were left as is, and that sweep keeper on defend was also left unchanged. When it comes to the mentality of this tactic, you can tell pretty much from a lot of the instructions that I have on the players, it is fairly aggressive. So balanced isn't really an option. It definitely can be if you want to play it a little bit safer, but this is meant to be an aggressive tactic, so you are either going to go positive or attacking. I ran this testing on positive though. I've not done attacking. I do feel that it will still produce at a very, very high level though. So when we are in possession of the ball, we have fairly narrow attacking width. We pull out from the defense and look for the overlap on the left and the right from any overlapping players, such as the Carleros and the fullbacks, especially those fullbacks. We use low crosses in the final third, shorter passing directness, and slightly higher tempo. When in transition, we counter press and counter, distribute quickly to the fullbacks and center backs, and we roll the ball out. And once out of possession, we have a high press line of engagement, higher defensive line, and more often trigger press. Now, what type of level of team do you need to be able to pull off this sort of tactic? I think you can use it with just about anyone if you have the right players for this system. Now, one thing that I would suggest in doing is if you are needing to make some tweaks, which we will get to in a moment, but if you are one of the lower table type sides or a team trying to avoid relegation, instead of using Carleros, maybe use Metzalas. You might not have players that are able to perform at any elite level that you need in that Carlero role. But being that I just hinted at some changes and tweaks that you can make if you wish to make them, these are the ones that I would go ahead and do. The first one being with those Carleros. If you don't want them shooting more often, simply just take that off. They will still perform very, very well. Or, like I've said, you can change them to Metzalas, which I think as a Metzala, you could definitely get more out of them in the attacking aspect, but the Carleros with the ball winning midfielder in that trio were just absolutely unbelievable. And with the Shadow Striker, if you want to make this change to where they are a playmaker, you can have them as an advanced playmaker. The advanced playmaker on attack specifically. So either as the Shadow Striker how it is, or just switch that role to the advanced playmaker on attack. So there we have it for today's tactic. If you guys wish to give this tactic a go for yourselves, once again, I'll be linking my Discord down below in the description. That's where you're going to be able to check it out and download the tactic from within the download section of the Discord. Now, really quickly, before I let you all go, I am going to be uploading more now that I'm starting to feel a little bit better, and I am wanting to do a rebuild with this tactic with Fenerbahce, so that is probably going to come out sometime next week. I'm currently working on another rebuild, currently with a youth to gold aspect as well. I'll pop it up on screen right now for those of you that did not see the post. It's with Liverpool. It's been a lot of fun doing it so far. The team's absolutely loaded. You guys are going to love it. But also I'm going to be doing some kind of one-off videos that I've wanted to do for a little while, just haven't really taken the time to do them, but you're going to be getting some of those as well coming up shortly. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit the sub button. Right now I'll be popping up on screen one of my most recent videos, which is probably going to be from the Moneyball to Glory series, which is going to make a return next week, so definitely make sure to check it out. But until next time, everyone, have a good one. Bye-bye.